Okay. Hi, Kay. I just muted everybody and we're getting going because it's 9:30. So I want to always set a precedence to get started right at 9:30. Whether people come on early or not and talk, that's fine. Anyway, what I'm going to hit today in this mobility is some of the main issues with pain and mobility that I have gleaned through some research to show one of the biggest reasons for a tight, dysfunctional back is too much sitting. Did you guys know that? Too much sitting, yes. So here's the deal. We're going to start with loosening up the back by doing a very simple motion that if you had a hula hoop, you would be able to do it quite easily. Now, in lieu of the fact that I don't have a hula hoop right here, I have 3 of them downstairs. My kids love them. It would be a good thing for you to get a hula hoop and have put it behind a door somewhere. I'm going to use this, pretend as it's my hula hoop. See, I'm going to go back like this, and then I'm going to start doing some of the main things that I would do if I wanted to start a hula hoop. See, I'm just overemphasizing it. So one of the main culprits, you need to hear this, of a tight back, tight hamstrings especially, which tight hamstrings, tight back, what does that go into? Tight calf, tight foot function. So look what I'm doing. I have my stick, my pole, I'm going to put it right behind, right at the top of my hips, not at my waist, a little below where the waist would be in your back, okay? Drop your shoulders, take a big breath in with the nose, and then I'm going to act like I'm going to start a hula hoop motion. So I'm going both ways. Generally, you'll start it one way, and then you'll start hula hooping, okay? So one of the first things to do when you have a tight lower back, if you're standing, if you can stand up, start doing a hula hooping motion. And yeah, you might have to do 10 or 20, okay? I'll give you, in our quest to reach movement goals that maybe some of you have set, I'll give you one. Get you a hula hoop, go to any, toy store, or I think they'll have them. Get a hula hoop. Try to get to where you can hula hoop. 1 minute. Do you see what I'm doing? So every time, you may not see me, but every time I turn, you see my foot is pivoting. And I'm bending at the toe. See that? And then whenever I turn all the way this way, I drop my shoulders, okay? Then I come back here, I turn, pivot, you're pressing on the toe, drop your shoulders, yeah, and look entirely the other way, see? Breath in through the nose. Every time you breathe in through the nose, out through the nose and or mouth, drop your shoulders. So we're doing, in essence, the beginning of hula hooping. Now I'm going to bring this down like this. This is in lieu of having a hula hoop. If you have a hula hoop, we'll go for it. However, we're going to just stir, and we're going to act like we're hula hooping, okay? So you're pressing into the heels as you go back around, and as you come over here, your foot kind of goes pressure into the midfoot or the ball of the foot, but actually you're pretty much on all 4 corners, okay? So now you're working with your hands and you're swinging that hip gently back and forth. Now, as you do this, as you press into one leg versus the other leg, pretend you have a hula hoop around you, okay? Drop your shoulders, breathe in through the nose, out through the nose and or mouth. Now go opposite. Go opposite and think right now, be aware of how your feet are being loaded, okay? So here's the cool thing, and I'm going to point this out to you in this simple intro to hula hooping move. Okay, so see, you can get the benefits of the hula hoop without the stress of keeping it up. You know how that can be. Okay, the minute I would say hula hoop with somebody with a tight and or dysfunctional back, they would start rolling their eyes and saying, oh, I can't do that. Maybe not with a hula hoop, but you can do the motion. Do you see what I'm doing? As I roll from side to side, pretending, then after I do like 10 or so, then I'm going to go back the other way. So I keep my shoulders down. I keep my shoulders down. I'm rotating as I pretend to hula hoop. So you see the hip going side to side, but what you might not notice as you're watching this is what's going on with my feet. Yeah. So I attack some of the main issues in a tight back with a hula hooping motion. And I go 10 or so one side, then I hesitate, I drop the shoulders, I really set down into kind of like I'm going to sit down, and then I go the other way. I go the other way. Okay, and then not only my hips start to loosen because you're doing what's called, in essence, a flossing motion for your hip joint, your shoulder joints, your knee joints, and your ankle. See how they're rolling from side to side? So normally you get up and you walk around, right? You're doing forward motion. You don't do a lot of this kind of side to side motion. And then you say, oh, I have a tight back. Well, we're going to work to get over that. All right. And so this is my big warm-up move. That's why I'm staying in this. I want you to be noticing, how are you doing this bar, doing it round, round, round? How are you rotating through the hips? How are you rotating through your feet? See how I'm going to the outside, then I'm going to the inside, then I'm going to the outside and inside. And I'm not putting a ton of pressure, okay? I'm just rotating, 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 okay? Then I'm going to take this bar, put it right out in front of me. I have my chair here or my little mat. So we have, lots of you have these mats. They are absolutely a great tool to have. If you don't have it, or you know somebody that wants to do help for their balance, number one, always, always have a wall, a chair, a counter, a bed, something that you can simply put your hand on if you start drifting off balance, okay? So now I'm going to just put one foot into that pillow, okay? And I'm rolling from my heel in the back leg to my toe, okay? And then I'm going to just bring this up and over to the side. See that? Up, over to the side. And when you put it to the side, you're going to do a little hip hinge, okay? Just a little hip hinge. And you're dropping primarily into the heel, okay? Then I'm going to step off, and I'm going to step off. Now, I'm actually doing what's called a compound move, even though all I've encouraged you to do is pick up a bar, see, a pole. I can spell that for you sometime if you actually want to know how to spell it. I love driving my teachers crazy because I just saw Nancy come on. See how I'm stepping up into here? And I've done it several times. Why? Because I want you to think about, what are you doing with that back foot? because that back foot is what is going to push you into that move that I'm trying to get you to do, where I'm going to go from the heel to the midfoot to the ball of the foot, and I am really flexing through those toes. Okay, now I'm going to bring that up, but I'm going to bring it up and I'm going to go to the side. See, I'm not going to just bring it forward like our brain is used to doing. So this is a little bit of a shake up. When you do a little shake up in movement, your brain has to search for your balance. Okay, so here I am. Have your chair ready if you need it. Okay, I'm going to bring that knee up, but I'm going to go to the side, and then I'm going to do that squat, that side leg squat. See this? My leg is here at the side, but I do that little hip hinge. Then I bring it back. Then I step off. Okay, let's do that again. All right, listen, stay with me. These little movement patterns, this stepping up on this, if you got nothing else out of this and you said, okay, I remember we stepped up and we didn't just come over, we went to the side. Great. I would be over halfway there. Oh my goodness, I'm looking out here and I see 6 deer running really, really fast across the road. Whew, they just were running. Okay, ready? Other leg comes up. And what are we gonna do? We're shaking things up. What are we gonna do? We're gonna drop our shoulders, soften the knee, because breathe in through the nose. I'm gonna bring the knee up and I'm gonna go to the side. And as I put it down straight, I'm gonna sink right here. So that's different. Going to the side is different. So it's all these things that key up your brain. And by having this pole here in our hands and hanging on to it, you're doing a compound move. This is all excellent stuff, okay? Now, people that are chewing gum right now are doing a try compound move. They're doing a try move, okay? They're doing 3 things. So see, you're special. Here we go. To the side, and you drop. Okay, so some of you are thinking, wow, why is she spending much time on this? Let me tell you, the minute you went into your leg here, you brought your other leg up and you went to the side and you sunk. If you weren't thinking about your movement patterns, breathe in through the nose, in case you forgot to breathe. You know what you did with your knee here? You did this. You did that. Okay? So I want you to be mindful that that's what I see a lot. All right? That's one of the reasons why there's mirrors around different fitness facilities, so you can see your line. So I'm going to do it one more time on both sides. I'm going to come here, breathe in through the nose. See how I'm on my very, very flexed toes? Yeah, that is part of stretching. All through that underneath of that foot. Drop your shoulders. You're going to bring your leg up and you're going to go to the side and you're going to sink and you're going to keep this knee from caving like that. Okay, let's do it one more time. Here we go. Up, sink. Yeah, right there. And then come back and come back. Big breath through the nose. Out through the nose, if audible. Other leg, here we go. So don't do this fast, because this move right here with my toe in the back, my toes are very flexed, okay? Drop your shoulders, okay? You're on the toe. Then you're gonna go from that to the knee up and then over. And you're gonna do the squat. And I'm telling you, you're going to go in like that unless you really make sure that you're tracking properly. Okay, why is that so important? Because that has to do with how you're using your hips. That has to do with how you're using your back. Okay? Now then, We're going to do a rock and roll. So I'm going to go wide. So I'm wider than my balance pad with my feet. Okay. And now I'm going to just take my pole and go from side to side. But don't just look forward. Okay. And I'm going to the toe point. And then I'm going to the toe point. And I'm keeping my legs primarily straight and keeping my arms very straight. See that? It's a pendulum. So this, in essence, is helping your shoulders as well as your back to create a more pain-free existence. Because when you're tight, it's because you haven't moved in balance. So we're trying to get those joints flossed out, get rid of a lot of the junk in the joints, which happens if you don't move. So I'm going to say it again for those of you who just came on. Because see, if you came on late, we're so glad you came on. But we tend to be sluggy, don't we? And so we might sit too much. If you sit too much, your back's going to get tight. That's one of the first reasons of tight backs, okay? Yeah, and that has to do with your hips, it has to do with your hamstrings, etc. So what did I do? I come off of this pendulum, and I'm going to go back to the very beginning as we move on into this Mobility Wednesday. I'm going to soften my knees, number one, because I'm going to be moving my knees, okay? Because I'm going to hula hoop. So I'm going to let the pole act like it's my hula hoop, okay? And generally, we can go ahead and put the pole back here. Do that, okay? Because we generally start the hula hoop one side or the other side, right? So I'm going to start my hula hoop. So it's without the hula hoop, so I don't have to make that really quick, jarring motion. Those of you have hula hooped before. But do you see what I'm doing with my knees? See what I'm doing with my feet? Yeah, I'm doing all the moves. That is so beneficial in getting us unstuck, okay? Keep your shoulders down. If this is difficult for you to do with your shoulders, then just do it in front. Now, would I like for you to be able to hook your hands back here and stay in an upright position, say rib cage up, shoulders down, and it not hurt your shoulders? Yes, that's our goal. However, do it for a little bit and see as you're doing this, go into those feet again. So we're hitting it a second time, and I'm bending my knees. So one of the biggest mistakes that people make, and I've taught lots of kids how to hula hoop, in hula hooping is they see everybody's hips going, and so that's what they think. It's actually a side to side or a kind of a forward and back motion with your knees. See that? See how I'm pushing like that? I'm not really moving my hips a lot, all right? A little, okay? And then I can put the other foot prominent and go the other way. See that? So all these motions that people totally ignore because they think they don't feel it. I'm like, that's the point. You're supposed to warm up. Why do you think that PT clinics use the bike or the walker to warm people up? Yeah, because it's a low effort and it's actually beneficial to get your joints, muscles going. Okay, so here I am. Here's my pole. I can hold it here in front, or I can use this. See how I'm pushing and doing a little tiny circle with my hands, a tiny circle? It's actually more in the legs that get your hips going. See here? See, what if I had a hula hoop on? Yeah, and I can have one leg dominant, front dominant, or the other leg front dominant. See how I'm working that? I'm pushing. So it's the knees that drive the hips is my point, okay? It's the lower body. That's excellent to get you unstuck. So I hope I've made my point here. Take your bar, take a big deep breath. Now we're gonna do some crossovers. And we're gonna do some multi-directional crossovers. So what do I mean by that? You got your bar, I'm gonna cross over here, okay? Now, pay attention to what your foot does when you cross over. Some of you point it, some of you point it in weird directions, okay? So I'm standing here, just however you'd stand. Breath in through the nose, out through the nose, if possible. Rib cage up, you get the thing. And we're just gonna brace, okay? That is very different than sucking in your abdominal so that you have this hollow here. I don't want that necessarily. I just want you to brace. I just want you to just kind of lower under the belly button, just tighten that. That's a brace, okay? Then I step over, okay? So now we're gonna get real specific into hamstrings. I have some people with some big hamstring issues out there, okay? Then you start to avoid any move that encompasses the hamstring, which is not what you really want to do. So you don't want to hit it if it's having a problem or if it's too tight. You don't want to hit the inflammation that's there. See what I'm doing here? See, I stepped over here and I straightened the back leg, okay? I just contracted and pushed my leg straight. Breath in through the nose, out through the nose. Your feet are straight on, and then you come back, okay? Now let's take the other leg over, so I'm standing right here. Here we go. Brace, yeah. In through the nose, out through the nose. Drop your shoulders, rib cage up. Here we go. Step. And notice I didn't say you had to step real far, okay? If you just step over, just past your stable foot, that's fine. If you want to go way out there, well, you know, knock your socks off. However, that will make you more unstable, okay? So just a little bit. You see what I'm doing? I crossed over. Okay, now what am I going to do? I'm going to contract this thigh that's in back and push the leg straight, okay? This is a process. Stay with me, y'all. Okay, come back. Once I've done that, all right, now I get to do a little more intense. And this has to do with your hip flexor. So now I've stepped behind my leg. And what my feet are forward. Drop your shoulders, big breath into the nose. Now I want you to contract this thigh. And I want you to make the front leg straight as you push your hips forward. Oh my goodness, you're gonna get some great, it's gentle, but it's very pointed stretching going on, okay? In through your hips. So step behind and then straight and straight. Rib cage up, push the hips forward. Whoa. This is a little trick that many of you, if you can just remember, now we did a lot leading up to this. Mostly, if you would just remember, just do a hula hoop. What you think a hula hoop move is. Just do that, okay? Then you'll get warmed up. Then you can do your side to side because you've already done it. Then do that, then do this. See? I stepped across first. I straightened, tightened up and straightened through the back leg. Okay? Step back, straighten the back leg. Okay? And then push your hips forward and just hang out there for a little bit. All right? That is going to help you tremendously. Now, we're going to use our chair. That's number one. I'm going to put my little pole down. Okay. I'm going to use my little pad here. I'm going to sit on my pad. Okay. So we're trying to address the tight hip issue. Some of you are going to feel, you don't even realize it's your hips that are tight and your back is tight. And it's from your hips. So I went through a bunch of moves and the warm up and then into our class now to address that. All right. You can do a lot more than just walking front to back, which is what I wanted to capitalize on today. Okay. So now that I've sit down on my little pad, right, I'm going to bring my leg up. I'm going to rotate back. Okay, why am I going to rotate back? Anybody have the answer? Yeah, I'm going to rotate back because in the effort put out by bringing my ankle to the top of my knee, I do not want to round my back. So it has to go somewhere. That move has to go up the chain somewhere in order to accomplish this, because many of us are way too tight in areas in your legs. It could be your groin, it could be your hamstrings, it could be your knee. Okay, so rotate back, drop your shoulders, tighten, bring the leg up. You can help with your hand. Bring the ankle right here on top of your knee. You got it? Once you've gotten in this position, you can go ahead and lean into the chair if you want to, but keep your chin tucked. And then what I want you to do is just put your hands under here, over the knee or under the knee, whichever floats your boat, and just pull that knee into the chest. That's it. So extend your back, pull the knee into the chest until you feel the hip stretching. Yeah, this one. Okay. So open, pull, really pull that knee in until you feel that stretch going right into the middle of your gluteal. Yeah, just like that. Now, while you're there, I want you to do a point flex. See, don't let go. Don't let go of your knee. Keep it tight in there. So you're stretching through your hip, and then do a point flex, a point flex, a point flex, and a point flex. Now pull that knee in one more time. Take a big breath in through the nose, out through the nose if possible, and then bring that leg down. Okay? So here's the deal. All the work that we did to begin with to warm us up, extremely beneficial to get into this stretch. Now, could you do this laying in the floor? Absolutely. I do it in the floor all the time. However, I know that sometimes when you're feeling sluggy, you are not going to get in the floor. Okay? I just know that. Okay, you ready? I'm going to do the other leg. So, shoulders down, rib cage up, open. You can go all the way back, keep your chin tucked, bring this leg up and bring the ankle onto the knee. Okay, this is my tight leg because of my knee being replaced. It won't go more than that. And right now, without pulling the knee into the shoulder, I'm getting a stretch right in through right in through the gluteal. See? Now it's settling down. Okay? And I just clasp my hands and I pull my knee into this shoulder. Okay? Say rib cage up, drop your chin. While you're in there, anytime you want to, start doing the point flex. Now, if you can't do the point flex and keep your back extended and keep this knee in tight so that you're stretching, then don't worry about the point stretch. That's okay. Okay? Yeah? Here we go. Point flex. Pull that knee in. Boy, did I need this stretch. Woo! Bring that knee in as far as you can to your shoulder, but keep your back extended. Yes. Breath in through the nose. Breath in through the nose. Okay. Point flex, point flex. Now pull that in a little bit more, just a little bit more. See, I'm trying to hold you in here for at least 30 seconds. Okay. Give your muscle a chance to settle down there and to get benefit from that mobility stretch. It's not a hard stretch. And you can do the very same thing laying on the floor. Yeah, it'll be hitting the same muscle, but a little bit differently. Okay, now we're ready. So we're addressing a tight back today, okay? Why do we get tight backs? We sit too much, number one. We have degeneration in the spine, but here's the thing. If you have degeneration in the spine, not moving won't help you at all. Sorry about this. Okay, so we're ready to go to our next move, but before we do our next move, guess what we're gonna do? We're gonna get our little butt off this chair. So go wide, drop your shoulders. You ready? You're gonna lead the choir, and you're gonna stand up, okay? Take a big deep breath, lace your fingers together, pull your tummy tight, and soften your knees. Don't bend them, just soften them. Now open that chest and turn. See that? Pull the elbows back. As you push into your head, you're pushing back with your head. Turn, soft knees, breath, breath, come neutral. All four corners of the foot. Breath in through the nose, turn, open those elbows. Push in with your fingers against the head. Push back with the head. Turn, neutral. One more time, push, pull. Push, pull, open, 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 open. Open. Bring those hands down. Yes. Now I'm going to take this little pad out from under my chair because I want to slide a little better. Okie dokie. So the reason I put that one in there right then is because you find yourself in many situations where you're sitting. It could be meetings. It could be at home, doing whatever you do, watching TV, doing whatever, papers, computer. Stand up once in a while. Don't be a slug. Okay, I stood up because I could have gone right to this move, okay? But I stood up, I opened up and did full rotations and opened up to the chest. This is Kay's move. This is Kay's move. See, I've named it. Maybe I should name these moves for every one of you guys. Okay, so here I am. I'm gonna turn. I'm gonna drop that knee. See that? See, I've dropped the knee. Here's my chair, okay? I wanna stay upright. Why? Because if I lean in here for the next move, I have a hip replaced. I don't wanna go very far. I just wanna work and innervate these muscles, okay? So when I'm in this position, my knee is down, my toes are very flexed, okay? I'm gonna tighten up, drop my shoulders, and I'm just gonna bring my knee off the ground. See that? Just like that. And then I'm gonna push back just a tiny bit. See, push back. Say rib cage up. Yeah, hang on to that chair. Say rib cage up. See that? Take a big breath and put the toes back down again. If you hold that there and you're too tight, that hamstring is going to grab you. So I'm warning you, this is a bigger move than you would think, okay? So again, we're right here. And I'm telling you, if you do this kind of, do your hula hoop, yeah, do that cross body stretch, then go into this one, okay? We stood up and we stretched through the chest and everything. Then we sat back down. Then we went right into here. We grabbed our chair because I didn't want to lean in. That's a cheater move. All I want to do is tighten, drop my shoulders, and I want to bring the back foot off the ground. That's it. See that? Okay, then I just push back and I come back in. That's it. Drop your shoulders, push back, come back in. Breath, push back, come back in. Put your foot down before that hamstring starts to rebel. Because why is it rebelling? Because you're making it work. Whoops. Busted. Okay, are you ready? We're gonna go to the other side. Okay, now don't worry about it being tight here. Now, of course, if it's too tight and it grabs you, of course, put your heel out until you relax and then come back in, okay? This is a great way to address hamstring stretching and strengthening, by the way. Okay, are you ready? I'm gonna go to the other side. See how I drop my knee down? See that? Lean back just a little bit and you'll get plenty of stretch in that quad. Lean back just a little bit. Then say rib cage up, drop your chin, grab the chair, and all you're gonna do is release your toe. So you just release your toe, don't lean into it, push it out and in, push it out and in, push it out and in, push it out and in. Say rib cage up, take a big breath, put the toe down. Anytime you feel that hamstring starting to grab you, okay? Big deep breath, drop your shoulders, open back so you get that great stretch through the quad, okay? Big deep breath, one more time, here we go. Drop your shoulders, lift your toes, push back and then in. Push, keep your knee down, keep your knee headed down. One more. Put your toe down, okay? Now I'm not sure I had you lean back on this one, okay? Make sure you lean back on that one, okay? And people are calling me today for some reason. Oh well, okay. Now we're ready. You saying, what are we ready for? Do you remember the move that we just did after we got through doing our hula hooping and all that? We sat down. Okay, and we were on the pad at that point. We're off the pad now. We're going to bring the leg back up. I'm going to put my ankle on my knee. Okay. And depending on if you have a knee replaced, a hip replaced, you have ankle issues, you have back issues, all of these moves today are aimed at helping you loosen and have a back that functions without hurting. Okay, that's what today's is. So I put my ankle on my knee. I'm going to open back. And if I can, I'm going to pull that knee to my shoulder. And if you can, lean forward from your hip. You will get the stretch you're looking for in those tight gluteals. Okay, it should be really zinging right now. Drop your shoulders, say rib cage up, lean in with a very extended back, and you're hanging on to this. See, I'm hanging on. I'm bringing that knee right into my shoulder. And then after it kind of, the stretch kind of is not, I call it, it abates, it leaves you, then you're ready to go to the other side. Take a big deep breath. So I'm going to bring the other side up again, and you should notice that this time it's not nearly as tight as it was through here, okay? That should tell you something about how tight your back is, okay? So before I bring the other leg up, put my ankle on my knee, I'm gonna lean in, okay? I'm gonna tuck my chin, I'm gonna lean in, and you might say, how far, Jeannie? And I would tell you, you lean in until you start to feel the groin, and right up here, give yourself a stretch. Yes. And you can go to one side, then you can go to the other side. So come down straight through, keep your rib cage up, then push into the elbow, then push into the elbow. Drop your shoulder, drop your shoulder. See how I'm going back and forth? Just a gentle move with my back very extended. I feel it through the groin. It is so important to help the groin function properly, because that's one of the keys to straightening your walking out, okay? And we don't ever really address it. Now stay in there, say rib cage up, and really push into that elbow to the knee, and then push elbow to the knee. Take a big deep breath. Yeah. Now we're gonna push ourselves back. Now we're gonna do the other side. Okay, this is the second hit that we've had. Now this is my hip replace side. Okay, so it's much easier to get my my ankle on my knee. I feel a little stretch, but then I can pull and I can lean in with the back very extended and pull that knee right into my shoulder. And you should be feeling a nice stretch. It will be, you're not even going to believe how good you feel after you've done these two stretches. And we've hit these now twice in this position. And then we've done some of the other moves that helps us facilitate to really get some benefit off this. Okay, after you've held it in there for 10, 15, hopefully 30 seconds, then you can come off, take a big deep breath, drop your shoulders. Woo, you should be feeling really good after that one. It just eases your back up when you do that one, okay? Especially after you've done your hula hooping moves. Now we're gonna go in directly into the hamstring. So we're gonna do it seated first, and then we're gonna stand up, and we're gonna end with our hamstring, a really good hamstring stretch. And this, I want to encourage you, just standing up and showing everybody how you can stretch and put your hands on your ankles is not necessarily the best thing to do when you want to stretch your hamstrings. So we'll do it seated first. So see this? See this? This is a very important move, okay? So get to the edge of your chair. Number one, drop your shoulders. Number two, put your heel on a pad, or you can put it on the floor, and then start to hip hinge. See this? Okay, so if I were with you right now in your little workout area, I would be standing right next to you, and my hand would be right here. And the minute, as you lean forward, the minute that I feel your back going into a C position, I would stop you. Okay, so as you lean in and your leg is going straighter and straighter, and you're going down with the idea that you're going to pull your big toe back. Okay, don't get anywhere near that toe if you are rounding your back. Don't do it. Bring your hand down to a straight leg to the front of the tibialis, the front shin bone, and then come back and then do the other side. See which side is more loose and which side is more tight, okay? But don't go down here and think you're going to grab that toe at all costs. That is not a smart move, okay? That's your goal, to be sitting, leg is outstretched, straight, hip hinge, rib cage up, and your goal is to get down there to the toe, but you may not be able to do that yet, okay? But that's your end goal. And then do it a couple of times. See, I'm gonna pull that toe back, but my back is extended. Drop your shoulders, breathe in, and then come back. That's what you do first for your hamstring. Now let's do what typically you see when somebody's gonna stretch their hamstring. So you see how I've been pushing myself back? My hands are on my chair. Don't let your hands go away from your chair. Are you ready? Drop your shoulders, get your butt up, and then straighten those legs as you take your upper body down. When you get down there, pull one toe up, one toe up, one toe up, one toe up, alternating. You're gonna feel the blood go to your head, and before it all gets into your head, go ahead and stand, okay? Take a big deep breath through the nose. If you breathe through the nose, you're already gonna set yourself up to start doing that very important diaphragmatic breathing. Okie dokie, you ready? You ready, you ready? Here we go. We're gonna go down, we're gonna grab their chair, okay? So that we don't fall over on our nose. Then we're gonna straighten our legs as they're bent, and as we're down as far as we wanna go, we're gonna straighten our legs. And then we pull the toe up, pull the toe up, pull the toe up, pull the toe up, straighten your legs, bring your body into those knees, and then push and push down into the heels and stand. Big deep breath. Yes. Okay, now we're gonna do one of our last moves. And it has to do with your foot. And we've done this one before. So I'm gonna put my foot up on the pillow. I'm gonna bring my chair right here in front of me. And I'm gonna push my heel down and back with a straight leg. And I can keep pushing my foot forward as much as I can, keep my chin tucked, and just straighten that back into an extension. And now your heel is down and back. You're pushing forward with your front knee, and you're pressing your shoulders down, and you're getting a stretch in your calf. Then if you slightly bend your knee a little bit, it'll move on into the Achilles. So I would call this Bonnie's stretch. Bonnie and Elisa's stretch, that's it. So then I'm gonna come back and come back, switch, go back as far as you feel you can, and try to put the heel down, okay? Drop your shoulders, breath in through the nose, out through the nose. Keep that heel down. You should be feeling it pretty tight. When it starts leaving a little bit, that's when you bend your knee a tiny bit. And then you go back to a straight leg, and then you bend your knee, and then you strike back to a straight leg. Okay, and you hang on here for at least 10, if not 15 to 30 seconds. Just let that heel settle down into the ground there. Breath, breath, breath. Pull that chin in. So you're pulling the back of the head back. Then you step back, step wide, and stand. Okay? So we started all this whole thing with a hula hoop move, right? And it's not about swinging your hips. I want to end with this. It's really about this knee rotation. See how I'm pushing into there? Then I'll push into this one. And then you circle with the hips, okay? When you do this kind of a motion carefully with a good body alignment, you start getting those joints functioning so that your back is not so tight. So I hope this helps. This is the one if you have a tight back.